Hi everyone, and welcome to another one of Alan's angling adventures. Once again I'm up the River Ada, and once again it's quite a windy day. Those of you who watch my videos will know the last one I done, it was quite breezy, which I do apologise for that. On the camera the sound is, you know, it's not very good, but there's not a lot I can do about it, to be honest with you. But today we are, I've decided to come up to where I fished the time before last, 200 yards up from Betley Bridge, for my second carp session. I'm not in the exact same peg because it looks entirely different today to what it did do when I came up here last time. In fact, it's quite difficult to actually find out where the actual spot was that I fished. It's so different, but it's awkward to get down there to find a spot where it's either safe or you can actually net the fish comfortably, if I catch one of course. But I've found the spot that I think looks probably the best, and I'm going to give it a go down here and I'll show it to you. Once again, we're not far from the red gate, which is just there, so we're probably nearer the red gate this time than what we was the last time. I've put in 3 or 4 handfuls of crushed boilies and swim stim pellets. I haven't put no corn in this time, and I haven't put too much in, but so I'll put about 2 or 3 handfuls in along here. I'll show you the swim in a minute, but I don't want to talk too loud down there in case I spook any fish. Whether I catch anything or not, I don't know. As always, you don't know. It's so hard, this carp fishing on the rivers, but I'm determined to catch one at some point, and if I don't get one today, doesn't matter, there's always next time. But I'll keep trying. After this session I'll be back on the waggler again, or the feeder. I'm not sure what yet, but let's get this session done and let's see how we get on. I'm going to be using a monster crab boilie, 16mm, with a pop-up, 10mm pop-up on one rod, and on the other rod I've decided I'm going to put a big cube of luncheon meat on, hair rigged, on the other rod. I thought I'd try that this time and not corn. I've got corn with me if I need it, but we'll see how it goes. Because if I don't catch a carp, there's always a chance of a decent chub up here. So that's my thinking anyway. And we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna, rods are all set up down there. I just got to bait up and cast out. I'll give you a shot of what it looks like now. Now you've got those lily pads over there. Now I've baited up along the side of the lily pads, and see that big clump of weeds over there, them tall reeds. I've baited up just in front of that as well, so I'm going to have one rod down that far end, just this side of them reeds, and the other rod will be just down here, just in front of the lily pads. As I said to you before in my last video, I just haven't got time to go around trying to locate the carp, see if I can see any. So really I'm just taking a chance that there may well be some here, there may not. But anyway, let's enjoy the session and see how it goes. As I say, none of it along here is easy to net any decent. You know, if you catch anything decent, it's going to be a bit tricky, because I can't stand on this here. It's all muddy, soft mud, so I have to stand back. But I got me longer landing net today, which is a really long net, which I should be able to stretch over to net the fish if I catch one. Right, okay, I'm going to get me rods baited up and out there, and I'll get back to you in a minute when I'm fishing. So I've got both the rods out now. I've got two cubes of luncheon meat hair rigged on the right on this rod here, and on this rod this side I've got 16mm monster crab boilie and a 10mm fluorescent pink pop-up. It's overcast now. It started off quite sunny this morning, but the clouds filled in now, which is good. It's not very warm though, but I like it like this. It's better. Let's just see how we get on. So this is my 4th attempt now. Still haven't had anything yet, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it every time I've had a go, you know. Again, where are we? Monday, probably next week. Probably next week for a session on the Waggler. Don't know where yet. Got the drag set, so they can take line, but not that easy. You know, it's not set so they can just steam off, because I've got all these reeds here and lily pads. They're bound to straight away they're going to make off into there. So here all day. I've got all day today. I can stay as long as I want. I won't be staying in the dark. We'll see how it goes. I might stay till about 5ish. Once again, it's just a question of waiting. I may have 2 more sessions next week. We'll see how it goes. I might have a Waggler session and a feeder session. As I say, I don't know where yet. I've got lots of different places in mind on the river. See, what my idea was today, when I fished up here, not the last time, but the time before, I lost that half decent fish, if you remember, if you watch it, right at the end. The more I thought about that, it could well have been a pike. It could have been following up on a roach or a rudd or something, and hooking itself, you know, while taking the roach. It could have been, but I don't know. But it could have been something else. I was sort of thinking of coming back up here, you know. There's one, there's carp on this stretch. I think they roam around on all stretches of the river. but there's not loads of them, obviously, but that's why sometimes you need a big slice of luck as well, especially fishing the way I'm fishing, you know, where you haven't actually seen any carp there. So I am relying a little bit on luck as well, in fact quite a bit on luck. Oh, it's lovely, that is. I've just put 2 or 3 handfuls of pellets and crushed boilies out there, and I'm just basically fishing over the top of it, fishing on top of it. It is nice up here though. I think if I got one here, chances of getting a second are very, very slim in the same spot. But I'm not bothered about getting 2, I just want one. I'm well happy with one. I'm not even bothered what size it is. Just to catch one would be great. So I did enjoy that the other day, my last session at Streatham. I did enjoy that. I think it was too high. When I come over there today, I come that way, it was very, very windy, even windier than it was last time. In fact, it's almost blowing a gale down there. That wind from the northwest, and you're right in the open down there. But I noticed the water levels had dropped right down to what they were when I fished it the other day. Basically dropped on the river now, everywhere on here, to what they were. I think the forecast is several days of mostly dry weather. Now, when I fished at Streatham the other day, I had a 2 ounce lead on. This time I've taken that off and put a 1.5 ounce lead on, because you don't need a 2 ounce lead on this so much. You can get away with a lighter one. And the lighter I can get away with, the better. Still got 12-pound line, main line on there. Probably just about get away with that. Really, really, I think 15-pound is what you really want. I don't like fishing too heavy with heavy line like that, but I know that's probably what you really need. I think 12-pound you might just get away with it. Anything less than that, I wouldn't. Not on the rivers anyway. So I should persevere with luncheon meat on this right hand rod for a while, and then I'll change it around. But the other one I should stick with the boilie and the pop up. Someone was asking me the other day, do you put your videos on when you blank on YouTube? And my answer to that is yes, I do. I think you should do. I think, that is fishing, isn't it? You don't always catch. Fishing, sometimes you blank, sometimes you don't. There's no shame in that. I know a lot of fishermen probably only put videos on when they catch something. I think that gives you a false sense of making it look like they catch something every time they go, but it isn't like that. It really isn't, especially with this sort of fishing. I'm quite happy to, you know, it's like, I admit, I think some of my videos also, to be honest, are slightly on the long side, especially when I don't catch anything. But I think it gives you more of a idea of how the session's gone. You know what I mean? If I just showed you 5 or 10 minutes of a session of me blanking, and that is it, you know, what's the point of that really? I think I like to give you sort of an idea of how it's all gone, whether I catch anything or whether I don't catch anything. That's what I think anyway. I should leave the left hand rod out there for quite some time with the boilie and the prop up on it, but the right hand rod with the luncheon meat, I should bring it in probably every half hour, 45 minutes, and then recast out again. Time wise it's about 11:15. I've been fishing for about an hour and a quarter. Nothing at the moment, not even any taps or anything. I think these are a good idea. These body crushers. I'll show you. Really good idea they are. Warm now. Started off chilly this morning, but it's warming up now. The only thing that does happen is they tend to get bits stuck in the bottom, but I still think they're a good idea. So although it's breezy here, you're more sheltered from it because I'm down in a dip. It's very narrow stretch of river, in the winter months when all this foliage and weed has died back. It looks very chubby actually. I might give it a go up here for some chub in the winter. I certainly will be going back to that tributary I fished, but as I said, you can only really fish that in the winter months, or possibly the autumn, because it's so overgrown now. There's nowhere to fish really. I look forward to going there again. A completely different type of swim or peg to where I fished last time. It's not entirely still water here. The water is flowing from left to right, and it is slightly tidal, but nothing too bad. I've actually changed my lead weight now. I started off on a 1.5 ounce lead. I've gone for a 2 ounce. It's a slight toe out there, so I'll put the 2 ounce lead on just to hold bottom a bit better. Still got a string of corn on the right hand rod, and the 16mm monster crab and a 10mm fluorescent pink monster crab pop up on the left hand rod. I've just got a basic hair rig set up, nothing difficult, straightforward. Size 6 barbless hook. Really have got to be lucky. There's a lot of luck involved in this, as well as, you know, especially the way I fish, where I can't pre-bait or have time to look for any to see where the fish are. I'll tell you one thing I will get, which I haven't got yet, is a pair of Polaroids, because I think they help. I haven't got any of them. I think I'll get myself, invest in a pair. Alright, fish top then. That's the first one I've seen. That's the first sign of a fish I've seen. It's not a bad little peg, this, to have a Wagner session. Very peaceful up here though. As I said to you before, if you go back down the river there towards the Betley Bridge, it's so noisy. Not quite so bad during the week, but weekends it's terrible. It's such a shame because it's a brilliant looking spot for fishing. I think it is. That's where I've had nearly all my best fish. Most of them, of what I've caught, have been down there. If you can stomach putting up with dogs jumping in the water and stuff like that. I mean, if you're carp fishing, you don't want that. You definitely don't want that. I'm just getting some bites, indications on the left hand rod. This one here. oily on it. Definitely bites on there. I did notice about 5 minutes ago there was a tap on there. That's encouraging. Still there. Yeah, still there. And on the other rod as well now. Oh. Yes, I think we're in. I'm not sure. Yes, we are. What have we? Oh. Well, I don't know quite what happened there, but I had a bite on this left hand rod, and then suddenly the other rod started going, so whatever it was went over this rod here and snagged me up. And I lost it, whatever it was. But that was encouraging anyway. I must admit, I'm not sure whether to use two rods or not here, or whether to just concentrate on the one. I mean, it wasn't a run, but it was a bite. There was something on there. So what I've done with the right hand rod now, I haven't put it out there, I've just put it down there. And kept this left hand one right down the far end. That's what happened though. I had a bite on the left hand rod, and then after a while the right hand rod started going. So it's obviously gone over it, and I've got some taps on this one. This is on the corn. I just got it out in this narrow channel here. Probably small fish. That was a chance though, but it wasn't a run. Lots of taps and rattles on this on the right hand rod now. There might even be something on it. If it is, it's only small. like to have 2 rods out there just to give me a bit more of a chance. I really thought that was it. So that is the trouble when you've got 2 rods out in a tight spot like this. You know, it's always likely to happen that. Well, it's 11:45 now. Nothing else since that bite I had. I've still got the boilie and the pop up out there down the end there, and I've got a piece of luncheon meat just in front of me here, to my right, in this narrow channel. Oh, I really thought that was it then. It's the only thing I can think of that happened. So it must have taken me over my other rod, whatever it was, and snagged me up on the other rod. But when I brought it in, it wasn't on there. I was just had a right rattle on the luncheon meat. I'll show you where it is. Just down there. Just down there. Oh, it's 10 to 1 now. Something decent keeps topping just down to my right, down there, and it is decent as well. So what I've done, I've put a couple of 10mm sauce boilies on this right hand rod and just flicked it out down there, and with some goo on it as well. See if I can tempt whatever it is down there. Couple of times it's topped out there, just down there, and it is decent. You can tell it is by the sound it makes. That's the thing, when you're fishing these little narrow channels like this, you know, there's always a chance that a fish can come through there and take your bait on its way through. Where obviously if it's a wider stretch, you know, you haven't got so much chance, but when it's a narrow stretch like this, it's more chance of it picking your bait up, or at least seeing it. I'll show you. Just down there a couple of times, something decent, and it is decent as well, has jumped or topped just down here, making a right splash. So I've got this right hand rod just down there now. You see what happens from here, but nothing yet apart from that whatever it was this morning on that when it took me over my other rod, and whatever it wasn't on there. Got to get some sun cream on my arms. I'll get back to you very soon. It's unbelievable, it's just topped again down there. Hang on, I've just got a touch on my right hand rod. There we go. Just got a touch on it then, that was a bite. As I say, it keeps topping down there, whatever it is. That's the 3rd time now. It's not a positive bite though. So I've got a couple of 8mm, small 8mm sauce boilies on there. Oh, bloody hell. So frustrating. There's definitely something down there. I think with this sort of fish, it really is a question of just leaving the bait out there. You know, whereas I'm so tempted to keep bringing it in every 20 minutes or so, every half hour. I just want, you really need to leave it out there, let it settle down, let it quieten down, and then hope that the fish come in on it. It's back again, whatever it is. This sort of thing happens, it really is a question of leaving it. Sometimes I've been guilty of bringing it in when I shouldn't have done, if I'd left it and just see if the bites develop. Oh, it's quite warm now. Threatened with rain about 10 minutes ago. A few little spots. I think this video is another blank today, which it well could be. I might, instead of calling it Alan's Angling Adventures, I might call it Alan's Blanking Adventures. If I was using the waggler here, or the feeder rod, I'd feel very confident of catching. Bit like playing bingo, you know, waiting for your number to come out, or the lottery or something. Waiting for that one number. That sun is strong now, I must admit. Phew. Blimey, it is warm. As I said earlier, I'll be back again next week. I want to try and get another couple of sessions in next week. One on the waggler, one on the feeder. As I say, I'm not too sure where yet. There's so many different places on the river you can go to. You know, you're sort of thinking, shall I go here? Shall I go there? Would it be better here? Would it be better there? It's but we'll see. Still, if I don't catch anything today, at least I've gave it a go. 2 sessions in a row, I've gave it a go. You know, it's just not to be if it turns out that way. A few taps on the left hand rod now. Well, we're heading towards 2 o'clock now. Both rods are now more or less in the lily pads. both rods out pretty close together. I run the risk of one going up being taken over the other like before, but I'll take that risk. It's much better when that sun goes in behind the clouds. Just got the line a little bit on the slack side, slightly on the slack side. I haven't got it bang on tight. One or two little small fish toppling out there. But it's hard. It really is. It's not easy. It isn't easy. I defy anyone to say that it is, because it isn't, you know. When you think catching carp on a day ticket fishery or on a lake, commercial fishery, you know, it's a lot easier, a lot easier. This really is the ultimate as far as I'm concerned, if you can catch a river carp. What I love about fishing the river, you know, catching fish that are wild. You know, they haven't been put in there for you to catch, like on a lake, on a commercial fishery. Right, we keep hoping, as last time, we keep hoping. It's about 20 past 2. Still nothing. I'm back to a string of corn on the right hand rod, down there again. And I've got a krill boilie on this one now, with a yellow pop up. Just trying to change things around a bit to try and see if anything works any better. But obviously, if this is the thing with this sort of fishing, if there's no carp there, you ain't going to catch one, are you? You know, that's the thing. Catching fish, in my opinion, and getting bites, especially with this sort of fishing. You know, right in the middle of the day now. Well, I'm in. And if I get it, it's a bream. Oh, it's a nice one as well. Oh, it is a nice one. This is where it gets awkward here. Can I get it in? Can I get it in? Yes! First off, I'm going to weigh her, because I know my biggest is £4 2 ounces, and this could well have beaten it. Oh. Let's have a look. Right, £4 2 ounces is my PB on the river. What we got here? Let's have a look. Yes, I've beaten it. I've beaten my PB. It's just under 5. In fact, I'd give it £4 12. Yes, brilliant stuff. Right, cracking bream, just under £5. I struggle to get it in, I must admit, with this big landing net. I'm not used to using it, but of course he did put up a scrap, I tell you. Whew, and that was just down there to my right, where I said I saw a fish topping earlier on. I put a string of corn down there. Great stuff. Oh, it's brilliant. At last, I haven't blanked, and I've beaten my bream PB on the river. £4 12 ounces. Great stuff. Oh, I'm well chuffed with that. It's got 1 or 2 marks on it, but thank you very much, Mr. Bream. Thank you very much. Right, let's have a cup of tea after that. Okay, it's not the target. It's not the target species, but it's certainly most welcome. Most welcome. As I say, it's beaten my best bream on this river without any doubt. Any river bream. My best one was £4 2, which might have been at Betley Bridge. I'm not sure. It was either there or the gate peg at the front feeding. It was just down there, and I weighed it, and it was definitely £4 12 ounces. So what I've done, I've actually put it down there again, but I don't think you'll get another one from down there. But you never know. So I've got a string of corn now on both rods. Oh, it did fight though. Really did fight. Do you know, I went hang on, let's get me milk. Let's get me milk. going to say, when I first started fishing this river, I went ages without catching any bream of any sort, not even a skimmer. And now I seem to catch them, you know, not regularly, but I catch them a lot more often. As I said to you earlier, something was jumping and topping down there earlier, which was half decent, and that's what made me think, let's put it down there. Now, I had a bite earlier, but whether it was a bream or not, I don't know. It just shows you done it. You pay all that money. Well, I know it's not a carp, I know that. You pay all that money to buy bags of boilies and stuff, and you get a cheap 75p bag of corn from Tesco, and you catch yourself a PB bream on the river with it. Unbelievable, really. And I know a lot of fishermen aren't keen on catching bream, especially carp fishermen. I can understand that if carp's what you're solely going for. It is what I'm after here. But as I said, I'm more than happy to catch a bream, a chub, a tench, definitely. But I'm set up for carp. But in fact, when I fished at Betley Bridge, a few years ago now, down there, I got talking to a chap, and he was actually saying to me, he said it's quite well known somewhere up here for bream, somewhere up this end. He said, I don't know where he meant, but, and there you go. But you've got all species here. You've got bream, chub, tench. I've caught chub and tench down there, and bream. It's just the carp now, That's great. I easy beat my best bream. Delighted with that, really am. So it's just under 5, but I'll give it £4.12. Always like to be a bit stingy when I weigh fish. I always give them a bit, I make sure I lean on the side of caution when I weigh fish. I don't like to, it was definitely just under 5. So if you, I just couldn't get the camera focused on where I was playing it, because you do that and you end up losing it. The main thing is to get the fish in and then show it to you afterwards. If I can film me playing it, then all well and good. But the handle feels really flimsy on it. It's quite heavy. The net is quite heavy itself on this flimsy handle. Before you even get a fish in there, God knows what it's like if you get a carp in it. So I normally just use my 36-inch net when I'm fishing normally, but not for this sort of fishing. You can't. Lucky enough, I had the long handle on this net, so that got me out of trouble. I wouldn't think I'd get another one now, certainly not down there anyway. As like I said to you earlier, it's such a narrow stretch down there, so narrow you can almost jump across it. That if you put your bait down there in a channel like that, there's every chance that any fish coming through is going to take it. Again, as usual, out the blue. I do tend to be getting more bites when I put that goo on. I didn't put it on this time, funny enough. I haven't put it on, I forgot to put it on. I think it does help. my quest bream wise now really is for a 5-pounder. Got close but not quite. Right, let's check what the time is. I've got no idea what the time is after all that. Oh, I'm so happy now I've caught something. Right, time wise it's 7 minutes past 3. So we've still got plenty of time. Not in any rush. As I say, I may pack up about 5ish. I thought what I'd do is just quickly show you what hair rigs I am using, because this is only a personal thing, but I find a lot of the hair rigs I use, the hair isn't long enough. When I buy these hair rigs, the hair's not long enough for what I want. I like that, a string of corn, which is what I love to put on there. I think it can be absolutely lethal. So I got these off of eBay, off of a guy called, well, he goes under the name of Flying Scotsman, I think. It's Flying Scotsman Tackle. And these are just mono. I wanted mono. I didn't want braid, I wanted mono. And you can more or less tell him what size hair you want. And these are absolutely perfect for what I want. Absolutely spot on. I cannot praise these high enough. I really can't. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, you can tell him what breaking strain you want, the size of the hair, however you want it, you know, and it's come up trumps today. But what I haven't done yet, I still haven't caught more than one half decent fish in a session on this river. It's always, when I have caught one, it's always been just the one. I've never caught two. So if I do that today, it'll be a first. I think what I'll do, I'll bring him in again in a minute and put the old goo on, because that seems to be helping a lot. Now, was that a touch on the right hand rod then? Not sure. I've put that goo on the sweet corn, as I done. That's what I done when I caught that bream. I've certainly had more bites today doing that. I think for the last hour or two, we just put it just this side of the lily pads on a place wrap boilie. Oh, it's warm and that sun comes up. Oh, Jesus Christ! What the hell's that? Something's just taken it. as I'm reeling in. What the hell's this? Oh, it's come off. It's not on there. Oh, bloody Nora. I tell you, you wouldn't believe it. As I'm reeling it in, the string of corn, something has taken it. It's come off. Oh, what an eventful session this has been. Still only one fish on the bank, but that was just unbelievable. I was reeling it in, there's nothing on there, and all of a sudden, oh my god, you could feel it. Something had taken hold of the corn as I was reeling it in, and it was decent as well, or half decent, you know, definitely. But I lost it, came off, whatever it was. Oh Jesus Christ! I could have had 3 or 4 today. All on corn, all on a string of corn. I wonder what that was. Phew. Really eventful. It's been a great session, really I've enjoyed it. Alright, no carp, but at least there's been some action, at least there's been something happening. I've enjoyed it both times I've fished up here on this stretch. The last time with the feeder, catching some nice rudd, and now today. Whatever it was, took it on its way in. It's not the first time that's happened to me either recently. Shows they're down there. Shows they're there. There's fish topping over there now by the lily pads. In fact, not far from where my bait is. Really have enjoyed this today, really brilliant. I imagine whatever it was, as I was reeling in, it was probably sitting in the margins, because it was about in the margins when I was reeling in, my bait got to the margins, and that was when it took it. I wonder if that was the elusive carp I've been after. Who knows? Certainly have had a few chances fishing. What with that feeder session, that last cast of the session when I lost that fish, and now up here today I've lost 2 or 3. I've had a chance to have add 2 or 3 to my one that I have caught. About 5 to 4 now. I'm probably going to give it till about 4:30, and then I'm going to pack up. Well, it's nearly 4 o'clock now. I'm probably going to give it another half an hour. I've got a pace wrap boilie now on the right hand rod, and a string of corn on this rod here. Oh. First swan of the session coming down here. It's a bit of a bugger if he comes down here, it means we've got to reel him in. It's nearly 4:15 now, so another quarter of an hour and then that'll be it. I've got the left hand rod now right in the margins down here, and the right hand rod is over there. Where they just this side of the lily pads. As I said earlier, we're having a waggler session next. Either a waggler session or a feeder session. Gone a bit quiet as far as bites are concerned over the last 30 to 45 minutes. To the last 7 or 8 minutes now. It's gone very quiet. Slight touch on the left hand rod in the margins. A little tap. Yes, and again. Oh, and on the right hand rod now. Good dear now. It's strange, isn't it? Both rods at the same time again. Shows there's fish out there again now. Give it a few more minutes. Just see if anything happens. Yeah. Again. I can pick up the bait. Yes. I think, yeah. Oh yes. It's not massive. It's another bream. It's another bream. Can I get it for my second? It's a nice one as well. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, brilliant stuff. Oh, what a way to end the session. So I'm all over the other rod as well, but I don't care about that. Great stuff. Right, well, it's another nice one as well. Let's get ourselves sorted out here. I've actually done it. I've caught a second in the same session. Let's see what we got. Oh, it's a lovely bream again. Oh, it's a stonker again. Absolute stonker. Look at that, second bream of the session. Look at his left eye as well. Bulging eyes. Great stuff. So 2 bream, one of £4.12 and one of, I'd say this is £3.12. Brilliant. Great stuff. That's the first time I've had 2 decent fish in the same session on the river. Brilliant. Cool, what a lump. Great stuff. Right, let's get her back. In you go, buddy. In you go. There we go. There we go. Right. Oh, it's great. Do you know what? I would have stayed here. I would have stayed here, but I've got to get going. I've got to pack up. I've got to get my other rod in. Probably in a bit of a mess there now with the 2 rods. Right, anyway, I'm going to pack up now. It's about 4:30 just gone. Well, thanks very much for watching. I've really enjoyed it. 2 bream. Could have had more fish today, but I lost 2 or 3, but I'm not going to complain at that. At least I haven't blanked. I haven't got my target species, but we'll try again another day for that. Thanks very much for watching, and enjoy your own angling, and I'll see you on the next one, which will be somewhere next week on the Waggler. Bye for now.